So, kicking things off with Revenge of the Sith.
Indeed.
The first duel, as you may remember, chronologically in this episode, is Count Dooku versus Anakin and Obi-Wan. The rematch, if you will, from their
Awful
performance on Geonosis. Yeah, they had to make up for a lot on this one.
And do they, is the question. I like it more than episode 2.
100%, yeah. Without a doubt, it's better than the Geonosis one.
This one, there may be a nostalgia element here. Because for me, like the opening 20 minutes of Revenge of the Sith,
Peak.
As soon as you see those starfighters come over the Venator and then all the way through to them landing on Coruscant, it's great. I love it. And yeah, this fight's pretty solid. I'm not gonna say it's too crazy. It's fine.
Yeah, I think it was very easy to do better than the one before because we said our views about the Geonosis one, and I think obviously the coolest takeaway from me is obviously seeing the development of Anakin. Yeah, like obviously the whole discounting the Clone Wars series when you see the development. If you're watching purely the movies, right, you've got him from End of Attack of the Clones getting his ass whooped to then obviously him now doubled his powers since the last time they met. Yeah, which after watching the Clone Wars is like what a week ago.
Yeah.
A weird comment to make, but
no, I like it. I mean, I think it's got a good setting. You can see the space battle going on outside, which is really cool sort of background detail. Again, Christopher Lee gets bonus points. He was the only saving grace of the last one, so it's only fair that he has the same luxury this time. I mean, it's pretty solid. It's much better duel than last time because it feels like, to me, well, first of all, you don't have any of that like close-up nonsense, and then second of all, it just feels, even the Obi-Wan and Dooku part of the Attack of the Clones duel just felt really sort of slow, and I don't know, Obi-Wan seems like a big sort of skill drop from Phantom Menace. Yeah. Whereas this feels a little bit more fast-paced. I know Obi-Wan obviously gets taken out. Yeah,
I think probably the biggest issue I've got with it is it falls victim to the same thing we spoke about last episode around like duels with 2 or more people always end up just being 2 separate duels, if you get what I mean. So there was only few brief shots where they're kind of both dueling together, and obviously everyone then gets yeeted into the panel and then crushed by it. Yeah. How he survives that, no one knows.
He must have, like, there are shattered vertebrae in play there, I'm
at least
sure
1 or 2 ribs are gone. But yeah, it does fall victim to that, like, they start the duel together, one person goes off, and then it's just Anakin's duel, which obviously, for the point of the story, it makes sense, and it was fine, but as another like 2v1 duel, it does kind of fall short a bit there. And
story-wise, stakes-wise, I think it's pretty good. Obviously sort of shows the start of where Anakin is going in this movie. So obviously the ending of it with him killing Dooku. It's pretty good. We obviously get him using the red blade as well, which is cool.
It is quite a good finishing move. Like I think similar we spoke about the Acolyte prior to this. I can't think we'd seen anyone's heads being sliced off, other than him killing the Tusken Raiders in episode 2. I mean,
I don't think so.
But discounting Maul getting severed, unfortunate. But
it's only been arms, I think, so far.
Yeah, so to see him sort of like do that move where he just whips his lightsaber in the air, catches it mid-air. Then,
I also just love the move he does before where he kind of like sort of like arm lock thing and cuts both his hands off. I love how that's done. And I think just going back to the point of it essentially turns into a 1v1, even for the part of it where Obi-Wan is still there, for half of the fight, Anakin and Dooku are off fighting, and he's like fighting the B2s that come in, which is like, again, they have to give the other person something else to do as a reason why they can't be involved.
But on that is probably one of my arguments for one of the worst shots in all of Star Wars. Because, now hear me out, in the bit in question we're talking about here, obviously Anakin and Dooku doing whatever, everyone's walking up the staircase to where the droids came into the room in the first place, and you see him holding his blade in like a weird angle, and then just does this one little pathetic and somehow deflects like 70 bolts back to these battle droids, and you can just obviously tell he had no idea what he was doing, which I know is green screen.
I love that shot.
Normally the CGI is good enough where he like is it's convincing he's hitting certain things he's been told, right, you're going to now slice this in half. This just felt like he was running up the stairs holding it, and they just added the battle droids in afterwards going, oh, it looks weird just running up the stairs normally.
He kind of runs up there and he does this like little movement with his lightsaber and he just cuts his battle droids. I love it. I think it looks sick.
So janky, clearly doesn't work. It is one of the clearest examples of, let's just CGI some stuff in there because otherwise you're just walking really slow up the staircase while they're dueling.
Yeah, I can see
not the biggest
that.
issue in the world, but if we're ranking these duels in critically, then that's got to take some points away from me personally.
Okay. So to come out of it, then I'm thinking B.
B.
What are you thinking? Higher or lower?
No, I was hovering C or B.
I mean, I could go C. Like, I don't want to put it too high because it's not amazing. Where did we put Dooku and Anakin? The first one was that lowest of the low? Yeah.
No, that's F. Sorry, that's F.
Yes, good. Okay.
There's nothing in C tier at the moment. So above C in the B tier, obviously, we have Jedi Knight and the Acolyte, Soul, Jackie versus Stranger.
I think they're both better, to be honest.
Yeah, they're better to watch. Although I feel bad chucking a Revenge of the Sith one this low so soon, but it's just.
I could take this being a low B, but I'm also happy with it being a high C. I think C is sort of where it should be, because taking away the nostalgia element of it, it's fine. It's nothing too crazy.
It's solid.
But
doesn't do anything that crazy for me. So I'm thinking C tier. If you're happy with that, high C.
C.
Lock bad boy in.
So we're off to an agreement already.
That's good. Yeah, we might have some similar views to this particular episode. So with that duel, there's quite a few in this movie.
Yeah.
That brings us to the next one, which I believe
Grievous and
Obi-Wan vs. Grievous on the planet of Utapau. Let's crack on with the next duel.
So we now have Grievous and Obi-Wan on Utapau, and it is kind of mid. I think it's, again, there's going to be that nostalgia element. I love the sort of setting of it.
The vibes are immaculate. The chef's kiss. I think the issue we have watching these, as you know, watching the clips of the duels just to refresh our memories, obviously, watching them out of context, not within the film, you kind of sit there and watch the 25 seconds go, that was it.
This fight is very short. Like, obviously it goes on beyond this, but we're only counting the lightsaber duel, which ends when the clones come down, I think.
Yeah, so he force pushes him into the air conditioning unit.
And then
drops that on him, then the Magna Guards come out. No, is that before, isn't it? That's
he
before.
Drops that on the Magna Guards, but then he does force push Grievous into the thing, and then Grievous scuttles off.
As the clones are obviously peak scene, the 212 dropping in.
Yeah.
But not counting those, unfortunately, because obviously he loses his lightsaber during the chase with, what's the dragon called?
Boga.
That's
the Varactyl.
That's why you're the co-host.
It's a short fight, and the thing that frustrates me about it is, and I get why, but you even said it when we were watching it, like, how is he even surviving this? The guy's like swinging 4 sabers, but because he has to survive it, this fight should realistically, I think, be over quite quickly. If it was just done, as in, like, if someone had the ability to have 4 lightsabers, and like, right, go and kill that guy, you would just swing in every direction at once, like. But because it's got to be done, and Ewan McGregor is actually there doing this, they are often like one attack at a time, whilst the other hands are not doing anything. Or there were a lot of points where you see that, like, the 2 upper hands are just spinning the lightsabers, but they're not attacking. And it's like, okay, so it just looks like there's stuff going on.
Yeah, obviously, Grievous is cool. Like, the 4-arm lightsabers, the duel is cool to look at.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. But, yeah, when you actually try and analyse it and you try to slow it down, like, it's just a mess of blue and green lights waving everywhere. And like you say, he technically should be able to just strike all 4 of them. And obviously, we're not going to argue here around, like, plot, nitpicks, stuff like that. But on a technical level, should it have been maybe more Jedi taking on Grievous at the same time to have that sort of, to show off him more dangerous? Because obviously, if we're watching this back in 2005, the only thing we've seen prior to this is the 2003 Clone Wars. 2003 was it?
Yeah.
2003 2D Clone Wars, where we do see Grievous absolutely annihilating like 5 or 6 Jedi at once on.
Why have you done it now?
We're really showing ourselves up today, aren't we?
It's on Hypori. Thank God for that.
Virgin status achieved.
We just secured that nicely. Didn't want there to be any doubt.
So it is kind of unfortunate, like, as a kid at the time, or anyone at the time, having watched the Clone Wars series to lead up Revenge of the Sith, thinking, God damn, General Grievous is badass.
Yeah.
And then just seeing him just get all of his fingers individually cut off. Like, again, I would just seem silly. It's like, oh, that's one hand.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another hand. And it's like, okay.
That's another thing that frustrates me as well, because it's like that sort of dual-wielding lightsaber thing. They always lose one.
He loses 3 out of 4, doesn't he? Or 2 out of 4?
Definitely 2.
Yeah.
And I get why. But I think the thing that annoys me most about this fight is summed up in there's one shot where I think he's only got 2 arms left. And he swings at Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan blocks. And then rather than using the other arm to, like, cut Obi-Wan anywhere else, he hits the lightsaber again to, like, knock him backwards.
Yeah.
Why not just, like, cut him anywhere else, you know? Yeah. And it's just that sort of thing, which you could argue that about lots of these fights, I know.
Yeah, so I think let's not get too, muddled into the, we could have done this, because we could say that about anything in any movie. Like, we could have just used the Death Star. So, a positive, though, like we touched on earlier on, I love the setting, obviously. You get the absolutely iconic hello there scene as he jumps down onto the platform. Yeah. Which I think that deserves S tier alone.
I was about to say, I think the lead up to this fight is potentially better. I enjoy it.
And like a little seeing all the battle droids just standing around watching it like it's some sort of like fight club. Just,
and then you're the one that like nudges his buddy.
Like it's such a cool setting, and obviously as well the importance of the battle is finally catching out Grievous. Like this is going to be the end of the war if I get this right. So you watching at the time thinking like the stakes are higher for this one. Unfortunately, I think the focus is put more on the chase afterwards. Yeah. So obviously the battle does continue between the two of them. So by no means are we saying the whole thing is mid, but if we're counting purely the lightsaber duel element, it's definitely the weaker of that whole sequence. Was obviously the wheel bike chase and then the little battle on the landing pad.
I was going to say, I think if that was included, I think this would be higher because you do get some really sort of cool dynamic bits. But if we are just counting the lightsaber duel, we have to sort of be realistic on what's actually in there. But one thing I will say, the whole film, CG-wise, I think looks very good, but Grievous, I think, especially holds up really well.
So good.
And I think this is during the fight. I think it's before Obi-Wan Force pushes him. It does the extreme close-up of both their eyes. But whenever I see that shot of Grievous, I think, man, that looks really good. It could almost be a practical effect, I think, the mask part.
And then another, again, a nitpick, but I always because I can never not think about it when I watch Revenge of the Sith now, having obviously watched the entirety of the Clone Wars 2008 series, is of course the fact that for whatever reason, General Grievous decides to let everyone know a guy that he's fought probably 20 times at this point, give or take.
I forgot.
I am also trained in Jedi arts. Cool, yeah, I knew that, mate. Viscount Dooku, yeah, I figured that. And then proceeds to show off his 4 arms, which again, everyone's like,
he does make such a big show of it.
Cool, thank you, man.
He's got dementia, man. He's got to remember.
Obviously, that's not it's not a valid complaint because you can't help what they made in 2005. But it is always funny whenever I watch it.
Is that and the Dooku bit we just talked about? It's if they had hindsight and this was made later, I'm sure those lines wouldn't have been included.
And it's almost a shame that they had to stick to that because obviously the line in when they first sort of meet on the Invisible Hand is like. You're taller than you're shorter than I expected, and you're younger. Like they had to keep that rule of these two can never interact until Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, which is a shame, but what are we going to do about it 20 years later?
I think it works well enough. I can suspend my disbelief enough to enjoy it, but it's worth noting that when you look back on it now, it
always makes me laugh whenever I watch it back. But where are we thinking for this duel then?
I'm thinking it can't. I personally wouldn't put it above the one we just did, Dooku.
Would you?
I think the same tier, maybe.
Yeah, my brain was going to C tier as well.
Yeah,
again, there's nothing that bad of it. It's just nothing that good with it either.
No, I think maybe there are things I prefer about this compared to the Dooku one. So I probably like the setting of this one more, and I think the vibes of this one are maybe better. They're both both good. But I think quality-wise, in terms of the duel. Choreography-wise, I think is a bit less. Like the bit in the last one of Anakin and Dooku specifically is really
to look at. You can't compare Christopher Lee's swordsmanship to Obi-Wan fighting.
Man.
Ewan McGregor fighting a green blob. With like 4 fucking sticks coming out of it. So
but as I say, I think same tier. They're both good in different ways.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Let's lock that bad boy in right there.
So that is Grievous and Obi-Wan in the C tier. Bringing us on to Palpatine's arrest, I believe.
Palpatine's arrest. Many a Jedi in this particular duel, which is obviously a big bonus of mine, but which we'll get to that coming up next. So, nearing the latter half of the movie now. We've had the duel with Grievous through Utapau. Anakin has discovered that Palpatine is the Sith Lord. And that brings us to Palpatine's arrest attempt, joined by the 4 Jedi Masters, I believe. They're all Masters at this point, right?
I believe so, yeah.
So we've got Mace Windu, Kit Fisto,
Sosie Tin,
and
Agent Kolar.
that's the one. I was going to say Evan Peel, but that's the short man with the ears.
Yeah. Which was a woman, played by a woman.
Played by a woman. Cool.
There you go.
Useless point there.
It's a bit trivia. Now you're going to remember it.
Thank you. I definitely won't. So this duel, where do we start? I mean, I think the opening move from, well, hang on, let's take a step back. The little dialogue back and forth, I love.
I love the 4 Jedi just walking in.
The aura from that goes hard.
And then you're under arrest. It's just great. And then obviously
the Senate.
Palpatine's lines are great in that. He is in this movie especially very sort of hammy, sort of like corny, but it works. I think.
I feel like it. He obviously played Palpatine in the originals, and then 1 and 2 he had to tone it in. Obviously, he had the few little scenes as Palpatine, but I feel like he was just told by George in this episode, right, this is your time to shine now. You are the bad guy now. Yeah, just go for it, man. And you can tell, like, every scene of Palpatine is just great. And obviously, the Revenge of the Sith is renowned for its memes for a reason. And there's so many great lines from it. So we get that great bit of dialogue, followed up by quite possibly one of the greatest moves of all martial arts.
It's a move, that's for sure. I
don't know what I'd describe it as. Couldn't even replicate if I wanted to.
Pirouette kind of thing. Yeah.
How he does it, I mean, good on him,
It's a way to start a fight. I don't hate it. I mean, I've heard it be talked about, like, in the book or like novelization. He does some like
force scream to like,
which is a cool idea.
Gives an over effect to the Jedi and causes them to lose all their.
It was on a 20-second cooldown though, so you can't use it again.
Definitely though, like,
I think on film,
I've lost the coolness of it because I end up just laughing more when I watch it now.
Yeah.
Like, I laugh in like a, I like to see it and it's like, that's funny as always. But I don't kind of watch it now and think, that goes hard. It's more of a joke.
I don't think it translates to film as well as it maybe does in a novelization.
It probably looks sick if you're watching it for the first time in 2005 going, oh my god, that was cool. Yeah. But obviously, having seen it so many times now, it's just become a bit of a meme in itself.
Yeah, it's one of those things that on a critical level, isn't maybe great, but I still kind of enjoy watching.
Yeah.
But
what I can't forgive is what happens to the. Yeah. So take it away.
The speed does not come across at all for me. So he does this pirouette thing and gets up there. Yeah. And I swear there must be at least 2 or 3 shots where it cuts to him, and he just slowly like Agent Kolar was like, it's so slow. You can't tell me that, like. And
they didn't even get a block in. There wasn't even a clash at all. He literally just one jab kills one of them, does another swipe either up or down, kills the second guy.
So I'm pretty sure Agent Kolar and Sosie Tin don't even.
No, they get
make a hit with a lightsaber.
No, exactly, nothing. It's not until Kit Fisto gives it a little bit of a block.
Kit Fisto. He puts a bit of effort in. Like,
he gives it a go, to be fair to him.
I was a bit sad that he died so quickly, but at least his death sound is kind of funny. No. So he gives it a like, whoa!
He gave it his all. He knew he had that one line in that movie. He was going to give it his all.
And also, a brief interlude, but I mean, this video is probably still on YouTube, and I love this video. It's like, it's one of those ones that was made by like a 12-year-old, like 20 years ago now, and it was like, Kit Fisto survived, ? And it's like, it shows the fight, and Kit Fisto, like, where he gets cut down, it's like in the doorway, and then as Mace Windu and Palpatine fight a bit further down, there's a shot that looks down the hallway. His body is not there, with a big red like thing. And as a kid, I was like, "Oh my god, he survived, man! He got away!" And every time I watch this fight,
gunned down 2 hours later. Oh my god!
Yeah, no, it's that's just a little aside that always makes me laugh about it. But
we'll link it. We'll link the video.
Yeah,
any theories are welcome.
But no, ironically enough, once the other Jedi have died, I think this fight gets a lot better.
Yeah, we were just sort of upon rewatching it. Luckily, as soon as it's the 1v1 between Mace and Palpatine, this duel gets a lot better, and it's got some actual pretty cool shots, and it's quite a nice duel. I like it.
I mean, there are still some goofy moments. I think the key one being Palpatine like doing a little Yoda jump off of whatever
so
it is.
So irrelevant as well. Like,
so
they're stood here. There's like a, I don't even know what it is. Is it a chair or is it just like a little...
That's why I'm not sure. It's like a round sort of thing.
Let's call it a plant pot, shall we?
Yeah.
He, for whatever reason, decides to flip onto it and then jump again onto the floor. And I'm sure he does another little sidestep. And
He probably does.
I don't know what he gained from that, nor how he was able to do it. Like, and again, it looks janky as hell when you.
He just looks exactly like Yoda.
And then it's almost like they reused the same animation with just his model over it.
Yeah.
Like it does not look great at all. But luckily, it's like a few seconds within the duel. So it's.
Now the other problem I have with this is, there was a sort of touch of it with Count Dooku in Attack of the Clones, and I suppose in this film as well. You've also got the stuntman doing it, and at times there's someone else's face over it.
Yeah.
Which I think is worse in this one. It's more noticeable. Which, fair enough, Ian McDiarmid can't jump around like a maniac, and he's not a sword fighter, but I think it is very noticeable at points. And then when they do cut up to like a close-up where they are going to have Ian McDiarmid there, he's just sort of like, again, I don't mind the corniness, but he's putting all these weird faces. He's just like jabbing at him, like it's very
like a crazy old man on a barbecue, just.
Yeah, but there is a peak shot in there, which is the sort of like Mace does like kind of and the window shatters.
They both smack against the glass, and that's a cool shot.
I love that.
Moments later, we then obviously get Mace Windu technically defeating Palpatine.
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of people kind of forget is Mace Windu arguably is the strongest, as he bested Palpatine there and then.
Did Palpatine let him do it? That's the debate that I've seen.
Oh, that's a good
Personally,
point.
I mean, I can't remember. I'm sure there's something where it's like George Lucas has said which way around it is. I'm personally of the opinion that I like to think that Mace actually beat him. And
he was a little too scared at that point. He was still hoping Anakin was going to help him, don't get me wrong. But I feel like obviously wasn't his plan to get grossly deformed, was it? I mean, well, it might have been, I don't know, but it's kind of like, right.
Get the sympathy vote, man.
Death Star, check. Clone Army, check.
Damn, I still look good.
Look like a burnt scrotum. Work on that one.
Yeah.
Obviously we then get the Force Lightning and Mace Windu just kind of stands there moaning.
Oh!
Yeah. Great performance by Sam L. Love the guy. And then obviously we get Anakin's moment of turning.
Yeah.
Where he, for whatever stupid reason, decides just to cut his hand off.
Yeah. I'm still just thinking of Mace Windu. There's one bit where he's talking to him and he's like, "Don't listen to him, Anakin!" It's just making all these weird noises. I love it.
And it makes no sense really when Palpatine just carries on doing it. It's like he's taking a piss and can't stop. He's like, "Oh no, I can't stop it now. I've got to keep going."
Yeah. And also, just as a little side note, one issue I have with continuity on this fight: the Palpatine in this, I believe, at one point is using Anakin's saber hilt, because I think there was a cut scene where he was going to use it, and they've just used the footage but given it the red blade, and it's just implies to be his.
Wow.
And I think there was also a shot, and I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure there's a shot where he's using like a stunt saber, but it's quite clearly noticeable. Like obviously they're not going to use like their nice hero hilts at all times, but it's like Obi-Wan's like episode one, I'm pretty sure. He uses that in the shot. I'll check that, and we might be able to get an image of that to prove if I'm right or not. And if I'm wrong,
some more trivia,
I humbly apologise. But I'm on a roll today. It's all up here, man. And I'm not going to go too hard into continuity unless it's episode 2, in which case that was appalling. And
no, I think a substantial positioning shot is a lot worse than a hilt.
These are just and again, I can understand it. They use stunt sabers, but it was just on quite a noticeable shot that it's a minor thing, but it doesn't affect my feelings too much.
And then, of course, we top the whole thing off with one of the greatest quotes in movie history. As he finishes off Mace Windu, he gives us that hell of a line.
Yes.
Unlimited power.
Yeah.
And then he gets flung off into the Coruscant skyline.
Makes Windu's noise when he gets like when he gets pushed off. Yeah. I actually really like the sort of, without one to overuse this word, vibes of this fight, like the sort of nighttime Coruscant scene. Yeah, I mean the big window,
the literal, the skyline as a backdrop looks great.
I love the red sort of colouring of his office and stuff as well. I think it just looks great. I've always loved the sort of just the vibe of the whole office, the Jedi turning up. It was a really cool scene.
And I think as well, just talk about stakes again. This one is, even when I watch it now, I'm still just thinking don't do it, Anakin. So close to winning.
That is such a good point. It's amazing how this film can, every time you watch it, make you think, what if things are different this time? And he doesn't do
always rooting for the best outcome. And it's just like, even though you've watched it 100 times. But,
you know what's going to happen.
This is, the decider of what Anakin's going to do now.
And I guess, story-wise, this is the birth of Darth Vader, immediately following this fight.
If you don't count the technical birth, but this, I assume, because he is named as him straight after this, so I suppose this is the beginning of the end for Anakin. And I personally like it. Definitely higher than I thought it was going to be. Prior to talking about it.
Of the same opinion.
There's definitely more cool things to talk about with it.
I remember before we filmed this, I was thinking I'm going to put this low because I think this is bad. And watching it back, don't get me wrong, those bad things are still there, but there's good stuff that I didn't think about. The other elements outweigh
it for me.
But where are you going to put it? That's what I'm wondering.
I am...
Because I'm not going too high with it.
Yeah, B? Put that in B? What would you think of that if you're not going too high?
Well, C, probably. But I mean, maybe a B, but so we've got in there right now, the Jedi and
C tier is Dooku, Anakin, and Grievous, and Obi-Wan. So you're saying me the same level of those two? So I think it's better than those ones.
In some ways. I think it is probably better, but there are still big downsides. I could see B, but I can't say...
I'm saying bottom of B tier. I'm not saying it's better than the...
What have we got in there? There's
That's the Jedi Knight and the Soul Jeki Stranger.
Yeah, I'm sorry to anyone watching this that loves Revenge of the Sith, but I can't put it above those. I think, if we're being honest in terms of not talking about story or anything else, just in terms of the choreography and the duels, I think I've got to put those away. But I can agree bottom of B.
Bottom of B?
But if this thing does beat those two Acolyte duels on anything, I think the vibes on this are just great. I love it.
Yeah. I think and story significance as well.
Absolutely. So we're locking that in on B?
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Lock that bad boy in.
There we go.
B tier. And that brings us to... Well, technically these two duels are
same time.
Intertwined.
So what are we going to do? I say...
I'll say these are the best till last.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Palpatine versus Yoda. Revenge of the Sith.
The penultimate duel. Yoda versus Sidious. And we were surprised how short this is. In
my head, it was way longer than I thought it was. I think that's down to one of my biggest complaints of the duel was the editing, by the fact that it just cuts back and forth between an arguably way better duel, which we'll get onto very shortly. But yeah, what there is of it, it's okay, I guess.
I like it, man. I think it's quite good. I think this is what the episode 2 fight wanted to be.
Yeah.
Because in my opinion,
improvement on that one, that's for sure.
You've got, first of all, smart choice to have Palpatine in the Emperor cloak and everything, because you can very easily put a stuntman under there and no one's going to know. Yeah. So I think Palpatine moves a lot better in this. I don't mind Yoda jumping all over the place. I think it's fine. It's kind of cool.
It's got to be done. Yeah,
it looks.
Got to be done for
Yoda. I don't know. I just find this one better, and I think the setting, especially if we're comparing to episode 2, still cool. The Geonosis one, but the setting of this one's so cool in the Senate building. Really, kind of, first of all, cool sort of symbolism of.
About to say, we've seen this building throughout the whole prequels, and some very big moments happen within it, like the Naboo taxation discussions, great scenes. Obviously we have then the emergency powers to Palpatine, we have the creation of the clone army and stuff, to then see it sort of culminated into, I suppose, the death of the Republic at this point, with Yoda versus Palpatine in this huge...
And I also think if you told someone in the Phantom Menace, like, oh yeah, you're going to see Yoda and the Emperor fight in here.
Yeah, that random centre, he's going to duel Yoda in a few years' time in that exact building.
And I realise, and they do make really good use of the setting, which I think is another thing of, it's cool to have a fight in a cool setting, but it's even better if they make use of it. So in this one, they obviously are hurling the
environmental
attacks. And I love that.
That is very cool. I do like that.
And I mean, I'm going to count it as part of the duel, because technically Yoda has literally just lost his lightsaber. It gets knocked away. But I always used to think it was the coolest thing ever. And I love that they put it in Battlefront 2 for Yoda's block. He doesn't block with his lightsaber. He does the Force block, when he absorbs the lightning and just poof.
Super Saiyan
that was really cool.
Yeah, I like that.
And if we're going by the logic we had on the Grievous and Obi-Wan fight, and even the Arrest fight as well, the lines before this I really like. No, you do have a really goofy shot of the Emperor getting thrown over his chair. And
before that, you got the 2 royal guards that just donk their heads.
I used to love that. Like, never has anyone had so much aura walking in, just being like, just smash them against the wall.
Yeah, but they don't smash against the wall. They like tap their head and they both fall on the floor.
I
it's
love
not
it.
as cool as you'll make it out.
No, it's cool. It's cool. It's great. And the lines, I love.
My little green friend.
That is obviously good. And then you've got Yoda, where it's like, only slightly dampened by the fact he does get beaten. But when he's like...
talking shit and then like, never mind.
If so powerful you are, why leave? Oh!
It's like that meme, like, I'm going to record myself having a fight, they're like, never mind, got my ass beat.
Yeah, it's exactly that. Yeah.
He came into that with so much confidence, it was like, that's why he exiled himself, because it was just pure embarrassment and cringe.
You couldn't
like,
face anyone after that. Yeah. No, I like that little bit in the office beforehand. I think that's...
my favourite shot, like has to be him just getting launched over his office chair. But I think it stays on it way too long.
Yeah.
You get the sound effect of him going back into the chair, and then it's almost like you've been framed, like, or just some sort of like on the chair, slowly falls backwards and like, rolls over it.
I think it
looks way too real compared to the rest.
That's exactly what I was going to say. You've got the shot where he goes flying back and the noise is very like cartoon-esque. He's been force push and he goes, and then you've just got this like actually real shot of like someone just thrown Ian McDermott over his chair and he's like, whoa.
I think that again, I don't hate it because it's only a few seconds, but I end up laughing at it more than I think like, oh, cool move, Yoda. It's just another meme for this film, which I enjoy it, but I can't sit here and say it's good because it's...
No, I don't want to be controversial here, but I want to put this in... I want to put this in B.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I think it's better than... it's definitely better than Grievous and Obi-Wan, and I'm going to say it's better than the Dooku fight as well.
Disagree with you on that. I'd probably disagree. Them two are better than this one.
Grievous as well?
Maybe I just prefer that, but I suppose objectively this one is better, but I prefer the Grievous one. I think maybe I just have an issue with Yoda dueling. I'm just not the biggest fan of the 2 Yoda duels we have in the prequels. I'm just not the biggest fans of, for whatever reasons. Like, I
mean, ultimately, I do prefer seeing Yoda as what he's kind of more portrayed as in Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi,
don't get me wrong.
Last Jedi.
I think,
but I just still think it's cool, and it's again similar to the Arrest one, the vibes, man.
Yeah. True.
How about top of C tier?
Well, no. To be fair, if we've put the Palpatine's Arrest at B, I mean, I still also do prefer that one. I don't know. So are you saying this duel is better than Palpatine's Arrest?
No.
I
can't. This one gets by a lot on the environment and the sort of stakes and atmosphere.
Yeah.
But Palpatine's Arrest is quite high in those regards as well. So whilst I think maybe the sort of environment and stuff is better in this one, as an overall package, I don't think I can put it above it.
I mean,
you know you want to do it.
I'm torn because I'm happy to put it top of C tier. Is probably where I'd put it personally, but I can sort of see the argument for bottom of B tier as well. I mean, we're arguing.
It matters. Bottom of B, I think.
Bottom of B. Okay, let's lock it in. Let's lock in.
Nice.
It's not even on my list. It's criminal. There she is. Bottom of B tier, Yoda versus Palpatine himself.
There we go.
Which brings us to
the big one.
The creme a la creme.
It's alright.
The duel. Anakin versus Obi-Wan. The battle of the heroes. The duel on Mustafar. Let's do it.
Battle of the Heroes.
Just rewatched it.
Yes.
I'm in awe. It never fails to amaze me.
I mean, this is what the whole prequel trilogy has been leading up to. Now, I'm going to say something slightly controversial here. When I thought about this duel, I didn't like it as much. Now, don't get me wrong. I do, but I've seen it so many times, and I just think that people just talk about it way too much. And then we watched it just now, and I thought, it is good. You know,
I can agree with that statement. The fact that this one probably gets glazed quite a lot, and a lot of, especially in this sort of now prequel Renaissance era we are in.
But that doesn't change the fact that it is actually very
it's justified. To me, this is the lightsaber duel. There's plenty more we're going to get to later on, which are really good, and there's other ones in the original trilogy which may be same level higher. But to me personally, any opinions, any other critical levels aside, when I think of Star Wars and I think of lightsabers, this is peak to me. This is Star Wars.
I think there's probably only one or two others that are on this level for me.
Yeah.
And I mean, this one, for me, the biggest strength it has is that I would say the most enjoyable parts of the prequels to watch, especially in the lightsaber duels, are Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor, because they're both great and they were properly going for it. You've got Duel of the Fates. Even the duels that weren't as good with Hayden Christensen he still puts in a great sort of physical performance.
Yeah.
So having the two of them fighting each other, that's great. It just looks so sort of smooth, and
it's the peak of even we haven't even matched it to this day, I'd say, other than maybe some Acolyte duels that have got really good choreography.
Yeah.
I don't think the pure sword skill and the maneuvers and the ability of both actors combined, I don't think we've ever peaked that high for any lightsaber duel, and any probably duel in cinema history. And correct me if I'm wrong, I'll fact check this later and put it on the screen if I'm chatting absolute bollocks. But I'm pretty sure this holds the record for longest sword duel, or they're not swords, but longest duel in movie history.
Which, I mean, I suppose wouldn't surprise me, because we watched it just then, and especially when you're not seeing it in context of the film, I was thinking, this is actually it's quite a long fight, because it goes through several phases of where they go through this sort of facility. I mean, just a quick run through of the bits that I really like. There's, again, that sort of movement of the fight going down, so starting at the top where the ship is parked. What do you do with a ship? You park it? You landed? What? I don't know. There's a ship there, and they fight. And then you go all the way down. There's that one shot, obviously, the iconic shot. They're both holding each other's sabers to stop each other. The lava comes up behind. Excellent.
Beautiful.
We both commented on it. There's a shot of a real volcano in there, which we both at basically the same time pointed out, which is a really nice little touch. I think it's cool. And when we were watching it, I remembered something I wanted to say about the Grievous fight, and I'm kind of glad, because Obi-Wan does a similar thing in this fight, so I'm going to mention both of them.
Go for it.
Being that when he's fighting Anakin, I think it's when they're on the sort of narrow beam sort of thing, that little walkway. And they go along there, and they're sort of obviously balancing. You see, there's a sort of shot of Obi-Wan where he's kind of getting his balance and figuring out where he's going to try and hit or whatever. And that's another I really love in the Grievous fight, where we didn't really talk about it, but when Grievous is advancing on him, he's doing the spinning thing, which is great sound design as well. There's a shot, the sort of sideways shot of Obi-Wan backing up, and then you cut to him, and he's sort of trying to judge where he's going to go in there, and I really love that, and I wanted to make sure I mentioned it, just because I love that it makes them feel a bit more sort of human. If you've got this guy with 4 lightsabers swinging at you coming in,
so
you're
that wasn't scripted. That was just Ewan McGregor trying to figure out what
am I going to do?
When he stood there at the green screen, this guy is swinging these sticks at him. He's like, what?
But no, it's and I like it in this fight, because again, there's a shot of Anakin later when he jumps onto those little platforms they're on in the lava.
Well, they're like robots.
Yeah, and there's sort of him, and he's kind of whoa, and he's getting his balance, and I like little bits like that these guys are trained Jedi and they're really good at fighting, but this is also a really precarious scenario, and they are trying to sort of
no kidding
not die. So I like little touches like that. But no, I mean, the setting's obviously great.
Yeah, I think going back to the beginning, obviously, as we touched upon with a lot of duels in this particular movie, sometimes the lead-ups are even better. In this case, I wouldn't say better, but definitely build up to. I mean, you've got the absolutely iconic, dialogue between Obi-Wan and Anakin.
Your new empire.
It's just, there's a reason why it's probably the most quoted and memed film of all time, because the lines, as funny as some of them are, this isn't one of them. This is truly just peak fiction right here. The back and forth between the two of them is just phenomenal, and that build up to the backflip, the music then just
music kicks in, and then that first sort of opening volley of just hits against each other as they're going backwards is just great. I mean, Do we mention the speed thing about how they like we're doing it too fast or whatever? I feel like it's cliche to mention at this point, but it's cool nonetheless.
Yeah. And like, you know, there is zero complaints with the entire duel itself. Like all the moves they're doing are great. There's some fantastic shots, fantastic like.
I have one complaint.
Go on. What you got an issue with that?
The Tarzan swinging scene.
Okay, I was going to get to that.
The swinging by itself, I don't mind. It's just
they sort of just accidentally touch tips.
Yeah, well, it's like they don't even try and hit each other. It's like they're going past each other and they're like, well, I guess we should just like hit each other's lightsabers or something. It's just a weird sort of thing to do.
They were flagging at that point. They were like, oh, come on, let's get over with it.
Yeah, it's just I'm still not putting much effort. But I mean, that's a minor complaint, but it's just something that always sticks out to me when I watch it. But
in addition to the lightsaber dueling, there's lots of cool moments where they're both like just kicking and punching one another. Especially the bit where they're in like I think it's like the council meeting room, I guess, because I think you see Watch Tambor in there in the scene before when Anakin's massacring all the separatists. But like Anakin just straight up drop kicks everyone, and he's like kicking him as well. Then do a little punch at the same time. Like them little moves added into it, I think like just show the desperation at the same time. Like they don't want to kill each other, but they clearly like both of them. Well, I suppose Anakin is trying to kill everyone at this point, but. You know, they're trying to just both beat each other best they can without straight up murdering one another. Yeah. Which obviously doesn't really work out. Well, it does work out, I suppose. Yeah.
I mean, it's also quite like a horrible end. Like, watching it back just now, and you watch it like, fucking hell, man.
Imagine taking your kid to watch that in 2005 and then just seeing him not only lose 3 of his only limbs left, but then just burning to a crisp, screaming in like pain.
Especially if your kid is like a huge Anakin fan, he's watching him like literally get burnt to a crisp.
But it's a great ending. Like I think the entire duel is phenomenal. You've got probably one of the best pieces of Star Wars music ever written with the Battle of the Heroes. Yeah. By the all-time GOAT John Williams. To then end it with again another iconic line with the high ground. Yeah. To then just slice them up into pieces, which obviously anyone watching it, having known what Star Wars is about, you know what's coming. Yeah. But I think actually seeing it, you know, that viscerally, is that even a word? Visceral? Yeah. It's just great. It's a phenomenal way to end it. And I think as well, speaking back on emotional stakes, storyline stakes, I can only think of one other duel in this entire franchise that has the emotional impact of this one and probably the stakes of this one. And my personal view is this is like the biggest duel.
I mean, this is what the whole prequel's been leading up to, because the prequels are really what turned Anakin into Darth Vader, and here we are. Like this is sort of what ends it. This is what makes Anakin, obviously he's Darth Vader in name, but this is what makes him more machine than man, as Obi-Wan says.
Quite literally.
And so I mean, stakes you can't really get much higher. I mean, obviously we do know where these characters end up, but even then, I still think they do a good job of. I mean, you know, Obi-Wan survives to A New Hope, but you still watch it and think like, God, this is like, you know, what's going to happen here? Because this is like, in combination with the environment and just like how sort of aggressive the fight is, you're still thinking like, man, like, are they going to make it out of this? Even though your brain knows they will.
Yeah, I think that just, again, is a testament to not only how good the dueling was, but like the setting as well. Like you say, like Mustafar is such a great backdrop to have this duel on. And obviously does play a bigger part into the lore later on of being, you know, Darth Vader's castle there and stuff like that. Yeah. But I think just, you know, when I watch the saga back, you know, 1 to 9, all the way everything else, like, that is always the duel that never fails to, like, just get me going. Like, this is just peak Star Wars to me.
Guess you're going, huh?
Guess we're going. Alright.
Okay, well,
why don't Star Wars time.
why don't you come out and say it?
This is going S tier. I'm not hearing any complaints about it. If you even try and make me put an A tier, the door's right there, my friend. Okay.
For the potential rage bait, I would love to, but I can't, and I will not argue that. It despite whatever little flaws I may pick out, it is S tier. It's great. It's iconic.
It's phenomenal,
and it's huge.
So that is Revenge of the Sith, The Battle of the Heroes.
First S tier?
No, Duel of Fates is S tier as well.
Shows how bad my memory is. No, I'm still happy with that though.
And there we have The Battle of the Heroes, Revenge of the Sith duels done.
And therefore the prequels as a whole done. So
completed.
That is now Acolyte done, prequels done, and will lead us nicely into Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Will indeed,
next,
yes.
And
we
then
have,
into the original trilogy.
Yeah, we've done one Obi-Wan Kenobi duel so far, being the Anakin Obi-Wan flashback, if you want to count that. So next up will be the few duels from the Kenobi series, then leading us straight on to the original trilogy. Fun times ahead.
So thank you for joining us for our ranking of the prequels. I think we've had a pretty nice spread. I think we were a little harsher on some than we thought we might be.
Yeah.
But then, when you've got things like Battle of the Heroes, come on.
We knew that was coming, and that was flying straight to the
You
top,
know where it's got to go. So, that will round up our prequel coverage, and we will move on in the next episode to covering Obi-Wan Kenobi, onto the original trilogy, and on through there. We'll see how far we get in the next episode. But with that, we will leave you.
Thank you for watching. Thank you again for your continued support for our newfound venture of the GlupCast. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, leave a comment if you fancy, and think about subscribing if you want. If you feel like being
Couldn't hurt.
Also follow us on TikTok and Instagram. We'll post little clips and other little bits there for help boost the content out there and put us across. So feel free to drop us a like and a follow over on there. And I think all that being said, thank you for watching. We'll catch you next time.